New format means new regional grind data to see just who is coming out on top. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. We are back in full swing out here with regional data, and I gotta tell you, it's really nice to get the chance to see, new meta, new opportunities out here, to see who is kind of still sticking around out here, being these strong metagame challengers that we were expecting to see. So starting things off here, we had 3 Ryzeal decks in this top cut, which I'm going to tell you is going to be no shocker to anybody out here. We have seen so many Ryzeal decks across the board. And it's almost like, maybe we just got a brand new meta out here that really, kind of defined things. And when a side set turns this much of a meta upside down, it is genuinely pretty impressive to see. Now, right next to Ryzeal was actually Malice with 2 in the top cut. Now, I think the cool thing about seeing a breakdown like this, or at least, a change in the meta like this, who's going to stick around? Who's going to be the old guard out here? How are these old challengers going to be attempting to stack up out here to the meta? And of course, Fire Kings was one of those decks that still has a spot out here. And let's kind of call it what it is. I mean, I didn't expect Fire King to die off. Yes, you lost a lot of the good engine stuff that you had going for you, but the deck is still 100% here. I think one of the biggest surprises out of this event was actually Labrynth tearing it up. Labrynth did a fantastically strong job out here, really showcasing and proving, hey, this deck can do some very stupid things still to this day. Actually, I'm pretty sure Labrynth ended up winning this event, which is a completely different story. And then we also had Tenpai out here. I think one of the craziest stories out of the weekend here was seeing how Tenpai was going to be sticking around and doing things. After the recent limitations, putting everything to 1, is the deck now beatable? Is there an issue? Yes, I think you can actually handle Tenpai quite well. So overall, looking at your field for this regional, it's within the expectations of what I was expecting. Let's pass on over to Declan. All right, so starting things off here, we have none other than Labrynth for you. Now, Labrynth, I knew that this deck wants to have an okay Ryzeal matchup. So when you're kind of entering into an arena out here where you're seeing a lot, and I mean a lot of Ryzeal in the top cut, having this deck be able to do its thing is pretty strong. I'd also like to thank Full Force Virus out here for effectively trying to be one of those cool little decks, or one of those cool little disruption cards for you to do the thing. Also, Dominus Impulse has been pushed down into the side, but one big thing that I think really helped this deck is, unfortunately, this deck has now adapted towards playing the Fiendsmith package. Yeah, I know, right? If you can't join them, or if you can't beat them, why not join them? And that's what you're seeing here. Also, Labrynth doesn't really tend to care about all that much. Putting a Desiree on the field feels pretty good, but your trap board here is going to be the thing that's going to be doing you the most favors. This deck's even getting away with playing Torrential Tribute, all right? If your opponent makes a duo driver, just Torrential it off the field. If they commit the ice or something, just Torrential Tribute it off the field. Having Torrential actually be a relevant board wipe right now is kind of insane to think about out here. You've got to keep in mind that the way that the meta has structured itself right now, having very strong board wipes, giving you these good opportunities to try to equalize the playing field is going to be very, very important. So seeing Labrynth having a very strong early showing, I think, is a very good, clear indicator of what is to come out here. Now, we also have Tenpai, and of course, hey, you know what? Let's just supplement the engine, right? If you have a problem, just stick some Kashtira Fenrir's in your deck, and you'll have no problem, all right? A free special summon, a free recruit for itself, a free power-up off of Ryzeal. I don't absolutely see any sort of issue that could possibly come with this. And you're telling me that I can now play set rotation in my deck to get to my 1-up field spell, boom, even quicker, no problem? Yeah, absolutely. This deck, I don't think a lot of people were really prepared for it. And that's really saying something, because everybody's like, oh, Tenpai's dead, we no longer have to worry about this. No, it's very much the opposite at this point. You need to be fully aware that Tenpai is still sitting out here in the room, but if you underestimate the strength of this deck, you're going to get OTK'd. All right, obviously, you hold the Ash for the Sengen Kaiman, you're probably going to go into a good game-winning position, which is good. Also, I hate to tell you this, but, Heat Wave is still a stupid card. Actually, having this card probably resolve was probably one of the better options that I feel like this deck had going for it. Also, drawing all of your power cards is really, really strong. Also, if you're against Ryzeal, well, congratulations. Ultimate Slayer just cleans that whole mess up. The fact that we've reached the point now that Ultimate Slayer has just shown up as this extremely good cleanup card, there's nothing possibly wrong with this. Outside of that, I see we're playing the Bucephalus 2 now as a dump target for the Ultimate Slayer. Okay. Next up here, we have Fiendsmith Ryzeal. Now, from what we're kind of expecting out of this meta, I think that this is going to be kind of your cookie cutter deck for a lot of this meta. All right, the Fiendsmith Ryzeal deck, you have two extremely good engines that are able to just synergize with each other, not really being too much of a bad thing. I do see that this build did go with the 2 Fiendsmith track instead of 3. See, this kind of comes down to like a consistency issue. Are you really worried about needing to have the multiples? And, if you are getting to playing 3, are you running into issues? And I don't necessarily think it's going to be the case. I do see, so this build was playing triple thrust. One of the cuter things that we were doing here is we're playing the 1 artifact Sanctum to be able to toggle in for the Lancia. So if your opponent punishes you, you punish them back. So we're playing the Destructive Daruma Cannon for a possible cleanup on any other bad matchup. That's going to be putting, one of those unaffected cool boss monsters on the field. And then to top things off here, I see we're also playing the Dimensional Barrier. So, you can roll out whatever possible typing that your opponent's going to be looking to try to trample you over with and put you into that bad position. I think that you have enough coverage here across the board for everything here that this should be working out relatively easily. I don't know if double Dreadnator, double Duo Driver is absolutely fine in the hybrid deck. All right, ooh, we've also got your Fire King special for you out here. Now, keep in mind, hey, we're still doing the Diabell Star stuff. This has not changed, all right? Just because OSS is gone doesn't mean that we're going to cut this out. This package is still looking to play the Deception, and you're still looking to play the Azamina, but now we're playing the Sinful Spoils, a subversion in here. Snake Eyes, because now you can kick things into the Spell and Trap card zone and use them to your advantage, which is very, very good. All right, you want to be able to be able to use these combo pieces to assist you doing your thing. And also, honestly, this is kind of cute. Still doing the 1 Garunix. I see we're doing 2 copies of Kieran for the big old smash, so you can do the large plays. This build did opt to side deck all 6 Mulcharmies. I'm indifferent about this, man. Like, the Mulcharmies are extremely good when they need to be, but it's also interesting. Also, we opted for the 45 cards. That might be flooding it a little bit too much, but I think in terms of what we're dealing with here, this should be fine. It just amazes me that, even cutting off OSS, Silva and Resalago are both still going to be extremely good cards for you to do the thing. And I don't think people really understood that. Yes, getting your Snake Eyes Ash cut off now sucks really, really badly, and it's going to be, potentially some game-ending stuff, but it looks like it's working out. All right, and our last list we have for you here is Standard AF Ryzeal. Now, between this and the Fiendsmith Ryzeal deck, which are both going to be competing for everybody's love out here as the big old challengers in the room, I honestly prefer this version. I like the fact that, we have all the combo ability that you could ever actually want. You have all of the engine pieces getting you to where you need to be. I do see that this build did choose to play Small World. I don't really know how I feel about that, actually. I guess that they are trying to, generate as much possible advantage as they can. Also, this build only chose to play 1 copy of Pot of Desires. I do not like that either. I like this card. This card is insanely broken for what you need to be doing. As long as you can net yourself resources, it's good. And of course, playing 2 copies of the Cross, interesting. And this build did choose to play the Gravedigger's Trap Hole as well. That way, you can possibly make the Rafflesia and have a ping off of this, which is pretty good. I mean, just kind of ensuring that, if your opponent tries to hand trap you, depending at what stage they're attempting to trap hole you, or, to hand trap you, this actually kind of works out. interesting card choices, actually. See, of course, we're actually playing some Ultimate Slayers down here. We have 2-dimensional bears, and we're also playing 1 copy of Thrust in here just to kind of get to, one of these particular 2 cards going to help us out. Haven't seen a lot of Evenly from the pure build, but I think that's fine. So, we are here. We have reached the new regional block. I'm looking forward to seeing what people are going to be challenging with out here, to say the least. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys.
Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.